Oh my. Marvel, what have you done? Oh my gosh. That was an intense movie. That was so intense. Oh my gosh. Marvel, 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 Marvel. You think you know, but you don't. Just trust me, you don't. Maybe two, but you really don't otherwise. So just trust me on that. Oh, that movie was just packed. Like, the theater was almost entirely full. Um, the movie itself was just plain packed. I mean, there's only one end credit scene. It's at the very end of the movie, and honestly, that's okay because in a movie that packed, you really don't need more than one. Like that was enough. You really didn't need any more. Um, oh my, that I cried. I mean, I cried so much. Um, like if you haven't seen this movie, don't watch this video because I can't make a spoiler free. There's just too much I want to or need to talk about. And I just can't do a spoiler free version. So, yeah, if you haven't watched the movie, don't watch this video because this is going to be entirely spoilers pretty much. And yeah, you better believe it. Got my Thanos pop and my Iron Man pop from the movie. Um, oh my gosh. Let's just talk about some things first. So, Gamora's role in this film was significantly more than she's ever had. And yeah, both Guardians films. Um, but she has such an arc in this film, and it's so good. Like she actually has purpose in this film. Um, so does Thor too. Like we're actually kind of seeing the aftermath of Ragnarok. Um, you know, Thor has pretty much lost everyone he loves. So, like Odin in Ragnarok, uh, there was Hela in Ragnarok, Loki in Infinity War, and Heimdall in Infinity War. Um, I mean, Loki's death didn't hit me too much emotionally because I was kind of expecting it because Loki's Loki's always being Loki and screwing something up for someone. So, I mean, I was expecting it, so it wasn't terribly sad. Um, Neither was Heimdall's really. He just was never one of those characters I was invested in emotionally. So that one just wasn't. It happened. I didn't shed a tear. I didn't really shed a tear for Loki either. Um, Loki's was still kind of sad though, but like I said, I didn't shed tears because I was expecting it. Um, I'm sorry, there's so much silence. This movie was just so intense, and I needed a day to just process everything. Oh, um, let's go to the Scarlet Witch and Vision romance. That's very, it has very Shakespearean qualities, you know, very Romeo and Juliet. Um, they really can't or shouldn't be together, but they're still trying anyway. Um, uh, Vision, I thought, had more of a role in this film. Like, Age of Ultron and Civil War, I just felt he was kind of there to be there. Um, Age of Ultron, he was created and helped the Avengers fight Ultron, but in that movie, he was just kind of there. Civil War, he didn't really have much of a role. I felt he was just kind of there in that film too. Um, but yeah, in this movie, definitely more of an arc. Like, we're expecting it because he has the Mind Stone, and Thanos needs that. So, he's trying to he's kind of going his own way, trying to figure out who he is, stuff like that. Um, and then, obviously later in the film, he gets it ripped out of his head. So, again, not another character I was emotionally invested in, so that when he died, I found it to be sad. I I was expecting it. Everyone was expecting it. Everyone knew Vision was not going to come out of this movie alive because Thanos needed that stone and it's in his head. So uh, that was a given. That was a given. Now let's move on to arguably the main character of the film, Thanos. He Shout out to Josh Brolin. Wow, Marvel finally has a worthy villain. I was talking to one of my friends and I compared Thanos to Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight. Amazing villains. Marvel has kind of been lacking in the villain department, except for like Loki. Um, and I liked Ultron. I thought he was a good villain. Um, but Thanos just takes the cake. Like, he thinks he's doing what's right for the universe. So if that means snapping his fingers and wiping out half of all life in the universe, if he thinks that's right, he's gonna do it. Spoiler alert, he did it. We'll touch on that later, though. Um, he's one of those villains, though, that you're like, okay, okay, I should hate you, but okay, okay. He's one of those villains, and I like those type of villains, and I haven't really seen any type of media go with that. Movies, TV, honestly even video games that do that. Thanos did that. The only other thing I could think of is Reverse Flash from season 1 of The Flash. You know, he's a villain you should hate. You should hate him, but you love him. You love him. It's wrong, but you love him. He's one of those villains. Thanos is one of those villains. I can't really think of anything else, anyone else that's one of those villains. But you know, the movie honestly follows the Infinity Gauntlet comic comic story very closely. Just some of the characters are switched around. And you know, in that, when he gets all the stones and snaps his fingers, wipes out half of all life in the universe, blah blah blah, he does it to impress the entity Death, because Thanos is like this major crush on her. In the movie, he snapped, poof. We haven't had any confirmation of the existence of the entity known as Death in the MCU. So, you know, just some of like the like tidbits of the storyline and the characters are kind of just switched around. It follows it so closely, though, so closely. I want to give another shout out. Tom Holland. You've been in Civil War. You've been in Homecoming. This was your best performance yet. I cried. I felt everything. When you know, Thanos is on Titan, and you know, so is like Iron Man, Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Spider-Man, Nebula, Doctor Strange. The Avengers and everyone can like hold their own against Thanos, honestly. And honestly, the Infinity Gauntlet was kind of weaker in this movie than I was expecting it to be. I mean, Spider-Man got like 2 or 3 good kicks on Thanos, and these people can really hold their own against Thanos. So in that way, I thought also Thanos was kind of weaker than I was expecting him to be. You know, he's the Mad Titan. He's big. He's powerful. He could put the beat down on anyone. So I was kind of surprised that throughout the movie, he was kind of being defeated so easily. Now, easily could be a relative term, but I felt he was kind of easily defeated, you know. Granted, it took a lot of people to get him down, but still, I felt very easily defeated for someone of his strength, stature, size, whatever. We got the Iron Spider suit. That was amazing. I'll be honest, I kind of wasn't expecting the legs. I don't really know why. I just wasn't thinking we'd see the legs in this movie, but we did. They were awesome, and I was happy. I could barely contain my excitement, and that seems stupid for legs, but you know, when we heard that it was going to be the Iron Spider suit, everyone was expecting the legs, so it was really awesome to see them. With Iron Man, we got Mark L, Mark 50, the Bleeding Edge armor, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's nanotech, so it comes out of a little arc, like the arc reactor he used to have. He has one, but not for the purpose of. It's for the purpose of storing it, and it comes out of that. So that was really cool. Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit. Um, I don't know if that would be nanotech or not. Um, the the mask or the helmet on their respective characters functions much the same. Like it just kind of disappears. It's like Black Panther's suit. You know, it just kind of forms, and it happens when it happens. Um, but yeah, Tom Holland's performance was so good in this movie. So, I actually read a fan theory, like yesterday, I think it was, that after Thanos snapped and half of all life vanishing, disappearing, whatever, they didn't really realize what was happening until it was pretty much almost over. Except for Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man dies. Um, he started like, I don't feel so good. And then he like grabbed onto Tony, started panicking, and then he said, I don't want to go. Very David Tennant, by the way, before he vanished. And that was because of his spider sense. He knew what was happening. He knew what was coming. And no one else did. Because of his spider sense. I felt, again, this is why Tom Holland's performance was so good. I felt everything. Everything. You know, there was no downtime in this movie. I was on the edge of my seat from the opening act, from the Marvel logo. I was on the edge of my seat. Oh, it was amazing. You know, that. I mean, yeah, some of these people died, some of who probably won't come back. But there are ones that are coming back, and we know that because we know of upcoming Marvel movies. You know, Spider-Man's coming back. He's getting a sequel next year. Star-Lord's coming back because in like 2 years, I think, there's a third Guardians movie. So Star-Lord's not dead. He's coming back. So's Drax, probably. So's Mantis, probably. So's Groot, probably. Honestly, I think the only one that probably won't come back is Gamora, because she is dead, I'm pretty sure. So, but like everyone else is coming back. So, that doesn't mean it didn't hurt any less when they did die. I mean, the two saddest deaths I thought in the movie, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Spider-Man's because, you know, he's a teenager and he's panicking. But Doctor Strange because he kind of just sat there and accepted it. You know, he kind of just sat there floating or whatever, and he just vanished. Um, yeah, those were the two saddest deaths in that entire movie, in my opinion. Um, Something I kind of wasn't expecting. There was a Red Skull cameo. Um, at the end of the very first Captain America movie, um, Red Skull's holding the Tesseract, and it like shot a portal or whatever into space and took Red Skull along with it. And you're like, oh, okay, he's dead. Time goes on. We kind of just forget about Red Skull. And then this movie comes, and we find out he's on Vormir, where Thanos is, because Thanos, that's where the Soul Stone is. We finally got the Soul Stone after like 15,000 movies. But Red Skull is the one that said, the Soul Stone needs a sacrifice. The person who wants to wield the Soul Stone needs to sacrifice something. So that's when Thanos threw Gamora over a cliff to get the Soul Stone. He wanted the Soul Stone more than his daughter. So it's messed up. That was a fun little nod to something we kind of all forgot about. We got Peter Dinklage's character. He plays Eitri, the dwarf king, whatever. Now he's the forger of all the weapons, like Thor. He forged Mjolnir. He forged Stormbreaker. Which, by the way, Thor with Stormbreaker, that was awesome. That was just awesome. I love that part. But I thought that was cool, There was a jump scare in it. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but there was a kind of battle, fight. There was a fight in Scotland, because that's where Scarlet Witch and Vision were, and trying to protect the Mind Stone, and two members of the Black Order were there. I'll get to the entirety of the Black Order in a minute here. They were Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive. And the jump scare came when Vision was going to leave for somewhere, and he kind of backed away and was just standing in a place. And then Corvus Glaive stabbed Vision with his, speary thing. Poor Vision, though. Vision got stabbed and blasted and shot at so many times in this movie. So many times, but I guess that's what happens when you're the wielder of the Mind Stone. And they need it. But yeah, the Black Order. So the Black Order is Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Call Obsidian. I thought the two coolest ones were Call Obsidian and Corvus Glaive, just the best looking. I felt that they were kind of weak, they were very easily defeated. And they were also kind of just there. Thanos is the only one who actually got any of the stones, He got the Power Stone by himself, Which, side note, I wish we would have seen him getting the Power Stone. Um, because in the movie they just say that he got it after he decimated Xandar, which is where the Power Stone was housed at the end of the first Guardians movie. Um, but I wish we would have seen him getting it, because when the movie picks up at the beginning, it's like smack from the end credits scene of Thor Ragnarok. I don't remember if it was the mid credits scene or the end credits scene. It's one of them. It's either mid or end. I don't remember the order. But if you've seen it, you know the one I'm talking about, when everyone escapes Asgard and they come in contact with Sanctuary 2, Thanos' ship. It picks up right there. Which means during that time, Thanos already had the Power Stone. Because he has it already at the beginning of the movie when he's attacking the Asgardian ship. And he's on the Asgardian ship. He already has the Power Stone, which means he had it at the time of that credits scene in Thor Ragnarok. But back to the Black Order, that was kind of just a side note thing. You know, they didn't really do anything to acquire the stones for Thanos. You know, he got every single one of them by himself. I mean, the closest it came to was when Ebony Maw physically took Doctor Strange aboard the Q ship. I mean, that was it. That was it. And even then, that didn't happen. And again, I just felt they were so easily defeated. I mean, like ridiculously easily defeated. I thought the way the Infinity Stones were used was really cool. Like, you know, we didn't see the Time Stone, or not the Time Stone, the Soul Stone in action, really. But the Reality Stone was by far my favorite because the way it was used was just so cool. And when the Guardians and Thor, no, Thor, not Thor, because he, Rocket, and Groot went to the Dwarf Forge, but the rest of the Guardians go to nowhere to get the Reality Stone, and you know, stuff happens. Thanos already has it, and a fight takes place, and what he does was taken right out of the Infinity Gauntlet comic. In that, he turned Nebula into ribbons, and I'll be honest, I haven't actually read that, so I don't know what his name is, but some guy got turned to blocks. In the movie, he does that to Mantis and Drax, respectively. Mantis in ribbons, and Drax with the blocks. So I thought that was really cool, though, seeing how it was used. And, you know, the Infinity Gauntlet and the Infinity Stones aren't just like, you know, he can, you know, control your mind with this one, turn back time or time travel with this one, or open a portal with this one. You know, they each like kind of work together. Like, one can power the other in a sense. I wish we would have seen more of them as he got them. Like, when I say more of them, I mean more usage of them. He really only used the Power Stone. He did a lot of punching in this movie. and he really only ever used the Power Stone. So, but I thought it was cool otherwise. Um, I felt the movie balanced tension and seriousness and comedy really well. Um, During the Battle of Wakanda, though, where it's so far into the movie and there's so much tension, you just want to keep that going. There was a joke that kind of just was one of those. You know, it just relieved any tension you had or wanted, and it was like a beer joke because it was like the first time Cap and Thor have seen each other since Age of Ultron, and Thor was like, "Oh, you're copying my beard and haircut and whatever." We didn't need that because we're so far and so invested into this movie, so much tension. We didn't need that joke. So I didn't think that was necessary. It didn't land. Um, it just I don't know. I didn't care for that. Um, you know, and like some theories on how stuff could go in Avengers 4 next year. You know, I think mainly it would be alternate realities or alternate dimensions, um, not entirely time travel. Because it's kind of like Rick and Morty, you know, they go to all these alternate dimensions and whatever, but like in the garage in the back, there's a box that says time travel on it. But that show never touches time travel because with time travel, there's just so many intricate rules and nitpicky things that you don't get with alternate dimensions and realities. So I think that's probably how that might go in Avengers 4. I'm sure there will be some time travel. I'm just saying that I don't think the entirety of it will be time travel. I'm going to bring it up again. I already said it, but the Avengers are very strong together. They can hold their own against Thanos. I mean, it's amazing. So, so I already touched on it a bit, so I'm not going to really just go into it again. But yeah, they can really hold their own against Thanos. Now, let's talk about some of the fights, battles. I already mentioned the Scotland one with Scarlet Witch and Vision. Um, Black Widow was there, Falcon was there, uh, Captain America was there. So I'm not going to really go into that again, you know. But Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive were very easily defeated in that fight. And then when they came back later in Wakanda, they were just easily defeated. Like, permanently easily defeated. At the beginning of the movie, Hulk versus Thanos, that was really cool. If Thanos hadn't already had the Power Stone, I feel that Hulk easily could have taken Thanos. Easily. And I think it was only because he had the Power Stone Thanos won that. You know, the Battle of New York in this film, obviously, because there was the Avengers Battle of New York. I'm talking Infinity War Battle of New York. Was really cool. Um, that was Call Obsidian and Ebony Maw with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Wong, Spider-Man, and Bruce Banner was there. He was trying to turn into the Hulk. Hulk wasn't having any of it. But that was a pretty cool fight too, in the moments leading up to that, when they're all except for Spider-Man, when they're all in the Sanctum Sanctorum, there's a bit of comedy. And it lands, because there's tension and comedy in the same moment, and it just lands. There was like a hair joke, like, are you moving your hair on purpose? And you're like, no. That landed. Like that beard thing I mentioned earlier, that didn't land. I didn't think that was necessary. Um, the Battle of Wakanda, though, that was amazing. I mean, that was like everyone versing everyone. Sorry, versus everyone. I don't know why I said versing. Um, that was a really cool fight, though. That was amazing. Like, wow. And then that's where every member of the Black Order easily defeated. Easily. Like, way too easily. You know, okay, already I don't remember how Proxima Midnight was defeated. I'm sorry, not every member. Ebony Maw was killed earlier in the movie. I don't remember how Proxima was killed. But Corvus Glaive got stabbed with his own speary thing. Call Obsidian got, I don't know, like blown up on the shield barrier of Wakanda thing. Proxima got killed. One of those big drilly wheel things ran over her. That's how she was killed. You know, I mentioned the costumes and like the suits and whatever. So I'm not going to touch on that. I'm just going to say again, the bleeding edge armor, really cool. The Iron Spider suit, really cool. Holy crap. War Machine's, suit, literal War Machine. That had so many like missiles and guns and weapons. It was hard to keep track of everything. Like, it was like a flying tank. It was like a flying tank. At the beginning of the movie, after Heimdall sends Hulk to Earth, and he crashes in the Sanctum Sanctorum. He's kind of blabbering about Thanos, and he's coming. When Doctor Strange portals to Tony, and he says, like, we need your help. And Tony's like, whoa, who's we? And then Banner comes out. You could tell it was serious because Banner was scared. I mean, he was scared. Like, he hugged Tony. I mean, he was scared, so you could tell it was something serious. Like I said, most of the characters that died, I don't think they're gonna stay dead. Spider-Man, Star-Lord, probably Drax Mantis will come back. I don't think Black Panther's gonna stay dead. He just had his own movie. They're gonna want to explore that more. So he'll probably have a sequel. He'll probably come back. I'm sure Doctor Strange at some point is gonna have a sequel movie, so he'll probably come back. I'll be honest, I don't like some of them. I don't know about. Like, I don't know if Falcon will come back. I don't know if Bucky will come back. I don't know. Because honestly, because there's really not a need for them to come back. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see for Avengers 4. After Thanos got the Time Stone, he went to Earth and used it, because earlier Scarlet Witch had destroyed the Mind Stone, and the only reason I think she was able to do that is because her powers came from the Mind Stone. Like, that's how she got her powers. So I think that's the only reason she was able to do that. So, Thanos, he got the Time Stone, he went to Wakanda, turned time back, and just straight up ripped it out of Vision's head, which I thought was cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, man, this movie, it messed me up. I mean, that movie messed me up. I saw a bunch of friends there, actually, a couple of friends. Um, so I'm probably gonna see this movie again because it was just so good, but honestly so big you almost need to see it like one or two more times to just process and take in everything. You kind of need to do that. So I'll probably see this movie again. Um, I'm gonna end that here, guys. Wow, yeah, I'm gonna end that here. Yeah, that's just it. I'm done. So I will see you guys later. Not entirely sure what my next review will be or what my next video will be. But just, subscribe, turn on notifications so that whenever I do drop a video, you get a notification about it and you can watch it and show me some love. But yeah, subscribe, like, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that happy stuff. I will see you guys later.